everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be an update video. Haven't done one in about a year at this point, so it's been a little while since the last one went up, so I figured it was time for another one, just to talk about some of the things that are going on, both with the channel and my personal life that have implications for the videos. So let's jump into it. So let's start with the first topic, which is essentially what the central topic of last year's update video was, and it's the same topic now. It's August, which means that back to school season is upon us. It doesn't feel like it's August. It really still feels like it's April or May, or early June, even though my birthday was in, the end of June. But with the coronavirus and COVID and everything going on, things have been, of course, been hectic and been a little odd and been all over the place. So I've been very happy with the ability to make a lot more videos that I've been a lot happier with because of the extended summer, essentially, that I've had, of, not working and just basically being home all the time, making videos, going on nice walks and clearing my head and coming up with video ideas. And I've really been able to focus a lot on the Overwatch League and just kind of watch it and try to analyze it and try to better my own takes and analysis of the game. And I still have a long ways to go, but luckily that's one of the things that has been very, very good about this whole summer. But with it being August and school starting up for me at the end of the month, I'm heading back that way soon. The day this video goes up, I'm probably on the road, but also I don't know for sure. I don't have a date that is like 100% set in stone, but the day this video goes up, that's likely where I am at right now. So with that comes, of course, some changes in the way content's going to go out. But once again, of course, because of the coronavirus, things are a little bit different. I don't have in-person classes. I'm going to be mostly remote, but I'm going to be still living near school, likely working again, even though I frankly don't want to be. I kind of need to be because that's just the world we live in at this point in time. So I'm going to keep trying to do as much as I can to keep all the content pumping and keep it going the best way possible. It shouldn't be too impacted, but there's always the possibility that there's a week where it's just a rough week for me, and getting 3 videos out just feels a little difficult. I want to be happy with the stuff I'm putting out. That's a big part of what I've been trying to do recently, especially, was to stop making the videos I don't really enjoy making as much. So I put a lot more thought into the videos that I put out now than I was in the past. So that's just something that could be impacted, but for the most part, it should be safe and fine. I don't know why I said safe. It should be fine. It should be unchanged. You should be still getting 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with the potential Tuesdays, Thursdays, depending on what's going on. Like this week, for example, you're getting a video tomorrow and on Friday. You're just getting videos because of the bracket picks. So you're getting my bracket pick for North America tomorrow, and then Friday you'll get my bracket pick for Asia for the Countdown Cup. And then I'll do playoff predictions when those come around and whatnot. But we'll talk a little more about that a little bit later. But I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to be moving, so things may be a little impacted for a few days, but for the most part, they should be fine, and things should go smoothly. I'm also much more involved in things in school and at school, so that could also always have an impact on stuff that happens. Certainly, this is the busiest that I've ever been at school. It's my final year, so that kind of makes sense that I would be much busier now than I have been in the past. So we'll see what happens. Things are always in motion, and things are always changing, but I enjoy making videos, so I don't want to stop. I don't have any plans of stopping, so things will keep going, and we'll keep powering through life as we have done for so long. I kind of briefly talked about this a little bit, but let's talk more about it in depth here. When I was saying before that I didn't want to keep making videos I wasn't really enjoying, let's talk about Overwatch Weekly. About like a month, maybe 2 months ago now, I don't remember exactly when, I made a video basically saying, hey, I'm not really having a fun time making Overwatch Weekly videos anymore. So, now we are making other videos. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that. This is something that has been kind of in my mind for a little while. I had already started kind of changing it. I'd kind of gone in the direction of saying I want to make more specific topics instead of just saying, like, here's a brief 2 to 3 minute coverage of a bunch of things thrown together, or 5 minutes coverage of a bunch of things kind of thrown together. I was already kind of trying to just say, I'm going to talk about a minute on these topics and then 15 minutes on this other one specific topic. But I just want more specific content. Overwatch weeklies are getting too long. I don't mind watching YouTube videos that are 20 to 30 plus minutes. And I know that some people don't mind it. But when it comes to doing like a news breakdown, right? If I want to talk about a topic and I want to talk about a topic for 10 minutes, I don't want to also then have 5 other topics that I'm talking about at the same time. So that's a big part of why I stopped doing Overwatch Weekly. And also, there's just been so little news going on because of the coronavirus. And, we're not having a BlizzCon this year. So who knows if we're going to get any Overwatch 2 news. And frankly, it's just the type of thing where I can share a story and be like, oh, I'm going to talk about this thing that's going on and read through this developer post about something and then give like no thoughts on it because I don't really have the time. Or I can say I'm going to dedicate an entire video just to talk about them testing Moira and them talking about Moira changes and giving my thoughts on what I think they should do to Moira, how I think they should change Moira. Like, I'd feel much better about doing that than just saying, like, here's a video where I talk about Moira a little bit, but I also talk about the Overwatch League, and I talk about this book that's coming out, and I talk about this and this and this. And Overwatch Weekly just got to a point where it was a video that I made every week because it was easy, and it was a video that I made every week because there were times when I just couldn't think of video ideas, for the week. And I just said, well, you know what? At least I know I can fall back on Overwatch Weekly, and I know I can put out an Overwatch Weekly and just do a quick news update and news rundown and have a video up and just say I didn't miss a week of uploads because of that. Overwatch Weekly isn't dead, and I said that when I mentioned it in the past. There's always the possibility I bring it back, especially when there's not Overwatch League stuff going on. I think that's really when things will be much more likely. It's more likely that I put out more Overwatch Weekly and just general Overwatch content when the Overwatch League isn't going on, and I'll talk a bit more about that later as well. But for right now, Overwatch Weekly is just on a hiatus. For me to be able to think more about how I want to do content like that in the future, I'm focusing really heavily on Overwatch League content right now just because I like the Overwatch League and I enjoy it a lot, and I spend a lot of time watching it and thinking about it and listening to content on it and reading about it. So it has consumed so much of my time that it's just something that I'm really passionate about, and I want to talk more about it than just making videos every week on just what happened the previous week and then breaking down what's going to happen in the next week. I want to talk more about specific teams, specific players. That's all the kind of stuff that I really want to break down and talk about more. Which leads me to the next topic I want to discuss, which is the end of season OWL content. Because we're approaching the end of the Overwatch League season. Some teams have already finished their season. If I recall correctly, Chengdu and Shanghai have both finished their seasons. They might be the only 2 teams so far that have completed every single one of their matches. I could be wrong. I know Chengdu has, and I think it was Shanghai was the other one. But there could be other ones that have finished their season as well. So we're getting to the end. Every team is going to have played 21 regular season matches by the time the season is over. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, talk about the types of things that are coming, and the types of things you can expect from this channel as we approach the end of the Overwatch League season. Of course, as I mentioned before, for the playoffs, I'll give my playoff bracket predictions. And because the playoffs are going to last several weeks, you're not going to get as many pick-related videos for the playoffs. You're going to get my initial bracket video where I say, here's what I think is going to happen. And then you'll get probably each week a reaction to what happened in the most recent set of playoff games. And then when I get to the final 4, I'll probably do another bracket prediction and just explain who I think is going to win. It probably won't be changed much, but who knows based on what happens. It'll just be more time for me to be able to consider what's going on and give my thoughts. But that, of course, comes in September when the playoffs start. So we will have that when it happens. Another thing that is going to be happening is I'm going to be doing my own awards show, or my own Overwatch League awards, and it might be broken down into a couple of different videos just because there's some of them that are longer than others, but I do have some awards that I am going to give out. Many of them are the same as the Overwatch League. I also have my own awards. Just to run quickly through them, I have MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Role Stars, which are 4 of the awards that the Overwatch League is giving out. I also have 3 of my own awards, which is 7th Man of the Year. So that goes to basically the player who comes off the bench and performs at a really high level for the team a lot. It's a little bit difficult to say exactly what the threshold is for that. Like, how do I determine who is a 7th man or not? But that's something I'll think about, and I'll put some thought into it and consideration into it, and I'll have some more details on that in a later video when I talk about my awards more in depth. I also have a Comeback Player of the Year award and a Best Midseason Addition, which just goes to the team adding a player during the season, and the one that I think had the most impact for the team, the best overall addition to a team that happened during the season. So those are the awards I have. There might be a couple extra by the time I get to actually going around to making my awards video and naming all the award winners, but we will get there when we get there. I might do 2 videos on it, have like, here are the people who I'm nominating, and then have a video dedicated to just talking about the winners. I don't really want to do that because I'd rather just talk about it all in one video and just show you who the nominees are and then tell you who I'm giving it to. But I want to put some nominees just so I can see what other people think and what people want to see. Get it. MVP award is coming up this Friday. They're going to announce the MVP 10 finalists. So I will probably make a video talking about that, reacting to it. That'll go up probably over the weekend or just on Friday, if I can find the time to get around to it, because I'm curious to see what the 10 MVP candidates they have are. So that's something you can expect here coming in towards the end of the season. And the final thing I want to talk about in this video is the off-season Overwatch League content, because when the season ends, we'll have the off-season. So what types of things can you expect? First and foremost, there will be a video on power rankings. I'll do my end-of-season power rankings. By the end of the season, I'll probably just do top 20. I'm not going to separate them by region anymore because there will have been some crossover, and it'll be difficult to say for sure, but we'll have seen the top 4 teams overall play each other, so there's some obvious upside, downside, but it'll be more eye test for a lot of it. Teams who I think would have been better, but we'll get to there when we get to there. I'm once again planning on doing the same series that I did the past 2 years, where I break down rosters, roster additions for each of the teams, and I try to plan it out in such a way that by the time you get to see the videos, and then by the time I put the videos up, the teams will have made roster moves. It's a very difficult thing to make. It's a very difficult series to make, and I'm contemplating changing the way that I do it to be where I start with the teams at the top of the league and then go towards the teams towards the bottom, because the teams towards the bottom are the ones that make the most moves typically, but we'll see what happens. I also think that it's more interesting to talk about the teams that didn't do as well earlier, because they're the ones who typically make moves quickly. It's a whole thing that you can never really tell, and there's always going to be teams making moves after I say that they haven't made any more moves, so we'll see what happens long term, but you can expect that in the offseason as well. Non-Overwatch League related content hopefully will be able to pick up as well in the offseason. We don't have any idea of anything coming out for Overwatch 2 anytime soon. I don't expect the game to come out this year. I've been on that train since the beginning, so I don't think we'll get any more Overwatch 2 related content anytime soon, any Overwatch 2 news anytime soon. There might be a virtual BlizzCon event that they host to announce some of this stuff and to show off a bunch of this stuff. And if they do that, of course, I'll talk about it. And any Overwatch 2 news we get, of course, I'll make videos talking about it. Any Overwatch news that we get that I deem important, that I deem kind of major, I'll talk about it. For right now, the plan is just kind of to talk about whatever there is to talk about. And I know that's a really bad answer. It doesn't answer any questions, but I'm just going to keep my eye out and see what happens. In the offseason, I think I'd like to spend a lot of time personally just kind of educating myself more on Overwatch as a game, and doing more to figure out like how to analyze the game better. But I also think I want to spend more time in the off season going back to doing some of the types of content that I haven't done in a while, like hero videos, heroes I'd like to see. My original plan was to do one of those every year. Haven't done one yet this year. That would have been like early June, late May that I put that video out. Top 5 characters I'd like to see become heroes in Overwatch. And I didn't put one out this year. But I didn't really put one out because we're just at a point right now with Overwatch where there's so much speculation about like who knows what, and we haven't gotten one. So I might put one out later when the off season comes around, when I can kind of talk about it more, and maybe Overwatch 2 hype is building up a little bit. But for now, there's really no absolute set in stone plans for the off season. I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear and see what comes and what goes, and that's how I'm gonna figure it out. That's everything though I have to talk about today. I want to thank everybody who actually watched this and sat down and listened to this whole thing. If you are one of the people who has been subscribing recently, thank you. There is a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and I know that it can be a little difficult, but the fact that there are people who are able to just sit down and enjoy content, and the fact that there are people out there who provide content always makes me super happy. So I would like to hopefully be that for somebody else, for someone to be able to escape from what's going on in the world right now and just have a place to go and relax and just listen to some idiot on the internet talk about something that he probably isn't qualified to talk about, but he does it anyway. I really enjoy just all the comments that people leave and whatnot. It makes me happy knowing that I am having some form of positive impact on anybody's life. And it makes me really happy to hear people comment stuff like, "Oh, this video is really great. This channel is really underrated," stuff like that. I always really appreciate any comments like that. I don't like getting complimented normally, but when I read comments, I do put a smile on my face. So thank you so much to everybody commenting. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for everything that you have done to support the channel. Liking, subscribing, if you want to do that. If you want to know what I'm up to in the future, please do that. Comment down below your thoughts on anything I've talked about today, but I'm going to get out of here. Thank you once again. Hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. And until next time, bye-bye.